Let's start with an overview of the general characteristics of the program. Agiloft is a platform for very quick development. It provides the ability to map and automate any business process. This ability is enabled by support for complex table relationships and data structures, sophisticated access permissions, over-the-top search functionality that allows you to find records that meet any criteria so that you can automate actions upon them, a powerful business rules and workflow engine, an action field type that handles integration with other systems, and built-in email integration. Agiloft supports multiple languages and includes a brandable end-user interface where different end users can see a completely different look and feel. You don't need to have programming skills and deep technical know-how to build a complex and sophisticated system in Agiloft, because all customization is done through a browser-based graphical user interface, or GUI. The basic ingredients of a successful implementer or administrator are logical thinking skills, creativity and imagination, the ability to recognize sometimes complex cause and effect relationships, and immersion in the system features so that you can understand what is possible and the best way to accomplish it. Basic concepts. We're going to start by going over the basic concepts and vocabulary that we use when working in Agiloft. Let's start with tables. Tables are typically accessed through the left pane toolbar tabs. A table holds records that contain similar kinds of information that are stored in fields with a variety of attributes such as text, choice, number, date, and time, and so on. Tables can have multiple levels of subtables beneath them that inherit everything from their parent. Custom tables are just like the default tables. They have all the same infrastructure available to them, such as fields, layouts, searches, views, workflows, rules, charts and reports, permissions, and integrated email. Data from one table can be displayed in another table through linked fields in one-to-one, one-to-many, and many-to-many record relationships. For instance, here one contact can be related to multiple opportunities, while one opportunity can be related to multiple contacts. Access to tables is controlled by group permissions. New tables are available only to the administrator group until permissions are given to others. There are two main kinds of tables in Agiloft. Active tables are tables that hold records that are worked on, usually with some kind of workflow and dynamic activity. Tables such as support cases, change requests, contracts, surveys, and leads are active tables. Background or subsidiary tables are tables that hold data that is more static and used by other tables. Tables holding contact information, contract types, locations, and products are typical examples of what we might call background tables. Most implementations will have a combination of these two kinds of tables. Setting up the background tables is usually much simpler and just involves creating the right fields and importing your data. Searches and views. A search is a filter applied to a particular table. Users can easily create their own searches, such as find all support contracts that are due to expire within the next 30 days, or all support cases assigned to me or one of my teams whose status is not closed. Searches can be saved and run automatically at given time intervals. Searches also include sorting options. Users can easily select their saved searches from a drop-down menu. Favorite saved searches can also be added to the left pane beneath the table name. A view defines what fields are shown in what width and order when displaying multiple records for a given table. Views can color the table rows differently depending on values in a particular choice field, such as the status or priority field. This makes it easy to see the records that are important to you. Users can switch between multiple views and display the results of saved searches in a view that is defined in the search. Views do not save a sort order, but users can click on a column in the view to manually sort records. They can hold down the Shift key to sort on more than one column. Reports, charts, and dashboards. A report is a summary of information for several records that may be presented in graphical format such as a chart, in HTML, ASCII text, or Excel format. Reports may include formulas and statistics on the data. They are typically based on saved searches and can be scheduled and emailed or distributed to a website. Dashboards are collections of reports from any tables. Typically, the best dashboards include a selection of 4 reports, which will be run and displayed together on a single screen. From a dashboard view, you can click on a chart to magnify it and drill down to the HTML or Excel version of that chart. Staff homepages allowed you to define a dashboard-like page for your staff users that gives them all of their most commonly needed options. A staff user homepage is launched by clicking on the Home tab of the toolbar. Multiple homepages may be created and made available to specific user teams, and users can be permitted to create their own pages as well. Homepages may contain charts, internal hot links such as create a new change request, Google gadgets, text, images, embedded web pages or feeds, and table views. Rules and workflow help you automate your business. Workflow controls what happens when changes are made to the state of a record. The graphical interface makes it easy to map your process flow and to automate work assignments and notifications. This ensures full auditability and control. The arrows define the state transitions that are allowed, and actions and guards can be added to any transitions. Business rules are used to handle the bulk of your system automation, as they can trigger automatic actions and behavior based on any criteria you define, not just state changes. Rules can run when a record is created, edited, or deleted, and can run on a scheduled basis to find records meeting a specified condition. With rules, you can perform a variety of actions, such as sending automatic emails, updating fields, running scripts, auto-creating new records, running scheduled data imports, validating user entries, and creating browser pop-up reminders. Groups and teams. Groups control which content a user sees within menu items, the tabs on the left, records, and fields. Groups also control what users can do in the system, including which records they can view and edit. Saved searches, views, reports, and templates are available and visible based on a user's group membership. Groups are defined as either a staff group or an end-user group, and this affects the license usage. Users can belong to multiple groups and enjoy the superset of their group's permissions. Teams serve different functions for staff versus external users. Staff teams are used primarily to identify functional units to whom records and chat requests might be assigned or emailed. Teams are quick and easy to set up. Users have one primary team and can belong to any number of additional teams. A user's primary team determines his default look and feel scheme and default view of each table. It also determines which languages he will see on a drop-down menu of languages and can define his working hours. Customer teams are used primarily to enable distinct branding in the end-user interface. Customers on different teams can see a completely different color scheme, logo, and so on. If you don't need uniquely branded end-user interfaces, you'll typically just put all of your customers on one customer team. Power users and end users. We make a distinction in our system between power users and end users because licenses are based on this distinction. A power user is a user who belongs to at least one group that is defined as a staff group and is sometimes referred to as a staff user. Power users require an assigned power user or floating power user license, and they access the program through the staff interface. Typically, power users are those users who work on other people's records or those who need access to functionality only provided in the staff interface, such as reports, charts, and dashboards. An end user is a user who belongs only to a group that's defined as a customer group, who may be an employee or an outside customer or vendor. Default end-user groups are customer, guest, and self-registered user. End users access the program through the end-user interface, generally through the custom web portal. End users may use an unlimited end-user license. The main limitation on end users is that they are not permitted to edit other people's records. Interfaces and schemes. Power users and end users have a different interface. The power users use the staff interface, which provides full functionality and access based on group permissions. The end user interface is the simplified interface used by end users. It is a fully customizable web portal. It can be configured to show different options to users in different groups. For instance, a support customer sees different items than a contract creator. You can even create your own HTML website and navigation and insert various parts of the program into that website for a completely custom navigation structure. In addition, there is a mobile ADA-compliant interface which allows access to the program through iPhones and other mobile hardware. Each interface may have custom look and feel schemes assigned, which control the colors, fonts, styles, logos, header, and footer text. Different schemes may be applied to different users based on their primary team. Communications and integration. Agiloft includes built-in email integration, and each table displays all inbound and outbound emails related to a particular record in a communications table. The REST and SOAP web services APIs, scheduled import, LDAP integration, action data types, external sync, and single sign-on integration all enable communications with other programs and systems. Knowledge base and FAQs. We use the term knowledge base to refer to the entire collection of tables, records, teams, groups, views, reports, and associated data that comprise your system. One server may hold multiple knowledge bases, each of which has its own access, permissions, data structures, and data. An entire knowledge base can be exported in XML format as a single file and imported onto another server. FAQs are typically a subset of normal table records that have been defined through a saved search to be available to end users through the FAQ interface. Different end user groups may be given permission to see different sets of FAQs, and FAQs may exist for any table. Typically, they are identified by using a field such as published equals yes value.